just have enormous respect for each other.
One gladiator has the same striped spear.
Fires playing during dessert.
Look, the judges are nodding. Even the Egyptian judge is impressed.
Are you desecrating our beloved capital?
Welcome to History Bites. I'm Rick Green. Back in the early 10th century, the Vikings were the bullies of the European schoolyard. Not only did they beat up the other kids for their lunch money, but they wanted some extra cash on top of that. Robbery and extortion. Well, in 911 AD, the Vikings turned up in France's schoolyard, looking for fights to pick and booty to loot. The Frankish leader, King Charles, had a sneaky plan. He knew the Vikings were expecting to be paid their Danegeld to go home, but Charles wasn't going to give these Scandinavian scoundrels one red franc. Good guys, bad guys, blackmail, surprises. This confrontation had it all. The only thing missing was live television coverage.
Entertainment and the long-range famine outlook. But first, here's Marie Armoire with today's top story.
Thanks, Wally. It's been 20 years since Viking warships have ventured en masse up to the coast of France. But now, led by Rollo the Gangor, they are back. King Charles addressed the media earlier to outline his nation's defense strategy.
These men have attacked our people again and again, killing, burning, and looting our land. They have repeatedly refused to leave unless paid their bribe money, which they call Danegeld. Clearly, these are acts of terrorism, and this administration will continue to deal with terrorists as we have in the past in the only way these heathens understand, by giving in completely to their demands. They have attacked this territory for the last time. How do I know this? Because we are giving it to them. Let this send a message to any invaders thinking about setting foot on Frankish soil in the future. If you invade our territory, you better be prepared to own that territory.
And so it seems King Charles has finally put his foot down by forcing the Northmen to accept not just responsibility for their actions, but also ownership. It's clear this administration is charting a new course in Franco-Vico relations.
But the question is, can these warlords become landlords? I spoke with...
No, listen, you don't know what it's like.
You don't know.
I walk down the street, I'm getting all these awful stares. No, like people half expect me to bash their brains in or rape their daughter.
Yeah, but that's what you did do.
Yeah. Well, so what?
Okay, if I could just interrupt here. Point is not that we did some raping and killing in the past. I think the point is that when we did that, we were visitors to your land.
We didn't know your customs.
Yeah, we live here now.
Yeah, but you're...
Many people are asking why France is making this unprecedented deal with the Northmen. Joining us now on Nightline to answer that question is the man who made the deal, the King of the Franks, Charles the Simple.
Hello.
Are you happy to be here?
Yes, I'm glad to be here, Ted.
Now, Charles, lots of people all over want you to tell a story of why you give big land to bad dragon boat grown-ups. Because why did you do that funny thing?
Ted, they call me Charles the Simple because I'm straightforward and because I like simple, clear-cut solutions, not because I have any problem understanding.
Oh, you're smart then.
Yes, I suppose I am.
You are a smart, clever Charles.
No, I mean yes.
Okay, let's get one thing straight here. These guys came over here with the express intention of killing us and taking our money. And not only did we not oppose them, we gave them free room and board.
Boy, nothing has changed.
Nothing.
You know, all we ever wanted to do was to reach out and touch the hearts of Frenchmen, either figuratively or well, literally with a little sword surgery.
Yeah, you see what I mean? These people are savages.
Why you give the land to the bad men?
I didn't really give it to them. They were already occupying the land. I just told them they didn't have to leave.
But the people who were living on that land, where will they go?
Most of the people who were living there aren't living there anymore because, well, because they aren't living at all anymore.
Yes, it's sad when the nice people have to go to sleep up in the sky, isn't it? Aren't you worried that more of the bad men will come here and want their own land?
No, I'm not worried. I strategically planned to give the Northmen the land so that I might avoid any unnecessary bloodshed and at the same time create a buffer between ourselves and any other Northmen who might come here in hopes of plunder. My theory being they won't be so quick to attack, knowing they'll have to face their own kind in battle.
So, thanks to King Charles, most of the citizens living in northern France had to relocate. But it's not like the real estate along the coast was that desirable anyway. It was like living beside a highway where the drivers might park on your lawn, storm inside your home, and slice you in half with a battle axe.
Bronze-tipped throwing spear, 16 Irir. Heat-hardened battle axe, 35 Irir. Double-edged longsword, 59 Irir. Blood-feud vengeance, priceless. There are some things plunder can't buy. For everything else, there's massacre card.
Yeah, you know, there's no question about it. When we're on the job, that's what we're like.
Yeah, and yet you can complain about emotional distress. I didn't see that kind of sympathy when you were plundering our people.
No, listen, you can't be that way while you're working. I mean,
right.
How much sensitivity do you have to the fish when you're slitting
I have
their
a
bellies
lot
open?
of sensitivity to the fish.
If I can say, it's like a doctor. If a doctor becomes too close to his patients, many of whom are going to die, then he wouldn't be a very good doctor, would we?
Wait a minute. What you're saying is, plundering is just a job to you guys.
Yeah.
Only job we've ever worked. Those days are over now.
Yeah, we took the severance pay.
Yeah.
Our severing days are over.
In my day, you know, we didn't give those Northmen a damn thing until they killed and tortured thousands of our people. And I say if they want our land, then I want to see some wanton destruction of life and property.
Well, I just can't believe that we are letting these awful Northmen just come here and live side by side with us. I mean, they think they can just come here with their long, silky blonde hair, tall, muscular bodies, cool blue eyes, skin-tight, drain-tight pants. Just get whatever they want. Well, they can't. Not with me.
Nah, you can't take my land, 'cause I'm giving it to you. We'll show those Vikings. Nobody pushes us Franks around. We do that ourselves.
Yeah, I thought it was great, but I guess the Northmen didn't know about the treaty yet because they started to burn my house down. I started laughing. I pointed at them. I said, "Hey, way to go, Northmen. You've just burned down your own house."
So you got the last laugh?
Yeah. Well, no, not exactly. They don't like it when you point.
Well, I have a good mind to just march right up to that animal Thorbrand and tell him what he can do with those glistening, muscular arms.
You know what I would do? I'd show them what for. Give them a taste of my sword, if you know what I'm talking about. Show them that we Franks are still just as tough as we were when good old Charlemagne was the...
Hey, look, here comes some Northmen!
Whoa.
When we come back, quick, call 911 in the year 911. The year 911 was a turning point for Rollo and his Viking army. They storm into northern France demanding, "Pay us money to leave the territory." And King Charles says, "You took that territory, you keep it." He gives the Viking invaders the Duchy of Normandy. The poor Vikings, they were used to the violent life of raiding and trading. Now they found themselves turned into wealthy landowners. But like any blue-collar worker who wins the lottery, the Vikings learned to adapt.
While some of the Viking men of Chief Rollo dabbled as farmers back in Sweden, for most of these warriors, plunder is the only way of life they've ever known. Now thrust into their new positions as farmers and landowners, these men have to adjust their career paths in midstream. But they are facing the challenge head-on, attacking it with the same contagious energy they employed at their old professions.
Rollo, you came here with your band of men to plunder this country, but that plan went down the drain when King Charles essentially told you to go plunder yourself by giving you the land.
Yeah.
Are you prepared to spend the rest of your lives in this country?
Definitely, Larry. We like a lot of things about this place.
Really? Such as?
Oh, gosh, the people. You know, they're great. When you're out day after day murdering and raping a people, boy, you can't help but get to know them a little. And I know I speak for all the guys when I say that the Franks are good people. The type of folks you'd love to have for neighbors or victims.
Anyone else notice that every time these Northmen come down for their annual kill-a-thon and all-you-can-steal massacre-rama, that they don't seem to have a lot of respect for us Franks? Nothing I can prove, just a feeling I get as I watch them gleefully hacking our countrymen into various cuts of Frankfurter. Now, why this mysterious lack of respect, you ask, huh? Now, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but may I suggest we blame our top bananas, who keep getting their bananas split. If these Northmen take one look at the long line of bozos we've had running the show here, and they say to themselves, "Loserland."
The other thing, you know, is the land itself, because being farther south, it's much easier to grow crops here than in our homeland, especially beans. Oh, the boys love their beans, Larry.
Oh, so you guys are here for the Franks and beans?
Oh, yeah, we go where the wind blows us.
Look at the first time the Northmen came pillaging our villages some 30 years ago. Was it only 30 years, Dennis? It seems much longer since I lost my leg at the knee. Who was our ranking Frank at the time? Charles the Bald. That's right, Charles the Bald. The guy who saved on helmets by painting his scalp silver. The next time the Northmen came, our fearless leader was Charles the Fat, the Dumo who looked like a sumo. Just don't let him sit on you, men. I think he's got a horse under that armor. Attacking him was like an assault on the Death Star. Luke, relax and aim for the exhaust port.
Charles, you're counting on these Northmen as being a kind of buffer against attacks from other Northmen. But what if these other Northmen don't attack the same part of the coast that you've given to Rollo and his men?
First of all, I didn't give it to them. They took it. I just made it official. And if others land somewhere else, well, then we'll just have to deal with them the old-fashioned way.
Which is?
Pay them a fortune to leave.
King Charles stood to gain a lot by having a Viking army encamped along his northern coastline. So to sweeten the pot a little for his prospective ally Rollo, as well as the land, Charles threw in a little bonus. His daughter. Talk about getting the lay of the land.
A warrior fighting for the title cloak against incredible odds. That's one saga we'll definitely be on the lookout for. Ragnarok opens later this month. Of course, back here in Normandy, everyone is looking forward to the wedding of the century between Rollo the Northman and Princess Giselle. Princess Giselle, are you excited about your wedding?
Yes. Like, at first I was like totally gagging because I had to marry one of those like ugly, gross, dirty murderer Northmen. Then I thought about it and I realized my alternative was a Frenchman, so I'm cool with that.
Are all the arrangements made?
We are like so not ready. I mean, like, most girls freak out if everything isn't perfect on their special day. Well, time's up by 30. These Northmen wedding feasts last for like a month.
That sounds exciting.
No. You try explaining to my bridesmaids that they have to buy 30 ugly matching dresses instead of just one.
But aren't you worried that at some point the Northmen may just snap completely and go on one of their murderous rampages they have become known for?
Not really, Ted. I took an extra precaution when we drew up the land transfer agreement. I told Rollo he could only have the land if he and his men converted to Christianity. Now, blood might be spilled unnecessarily by a heathen, but fortunately that type of thing does not take place within the Christian faith.
You also made another stipulation in the contract. Rollo apparently has to kiss your foot?
Yeah. It's good to be the king.
No Northman wedding would be complete without a contest. Do you have anything planned?
Yeah, there's like this race to the hall between the bride's party and the groom's party. The loser has to serve the winner ale.
Do you think you can beat them?
That's a doubter. Rollo is like 7 feet tall, and like most of his party is going to be on horseback. That's why I totally have to make up for it in the flyting, which is like this viked out insult contest.
Right. Have you been practicing?
What do you care, you nosy dumb cow?
And this is all for entertainment?
That's what they say, you fat-assed fire giant.
I'm sure the insulting contest doesn't involve being this offensive.
I'm sorry, I don't understand pig talk.
For entertainment tonight, Please stop. It's not funny. Would you stop doing that? Please stop. For entertainment tonight, Stop it.
I'm crying.
You're a very big man, Rollo.
Oh.
They tell me you are so big that even on horseback, you still touch the ground.
Oh, boy. These guys always tend to exaggerate what they see in the sauna, huh?
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah. Now, the treaty you've signed with King Charles. As part of the deal, you've agreed to convert to Christianity.
Oh, yeah. Casey wouldn't budge on that one. I hated to do it, trading all those gods for just the one, but, your people tell me he's good, so I'm going with it.
How do you respond, though, to the critics who suggest you are only saying you'll convert without any real intention of doing so?
The same way I respond to all the critics, with a quick axe to the skull, spooch!
Rollo, you came here for plunder, and instead you've been given land, position, even the king's daughter. Do you feel like the victim here?
I had plans, Larry, and they've been gutted. Just gutted, just splooch.
Coming up, Viking laws. Yeah, they had some. When the Viking legions of Chief Rollo emigrated to Normandy in 911, they gave up many of their old Scandinavian customs, like worshipping pagan gods and killing people who lived in France. But they did hang on to some of their old Viking traditions.
Welcome back to Family Matters. Our guest today is Frida the Frail, a family counselor and an expert in Viking divorce law. Frida, why do so many marriages end in divorce?
Well, Shelley, it could be a lot of reasons, really. Stress, the fact that the couples never really meet each other before the wedding day. But I think the biggest reason why so many more Viking marriages end in divorce is because we allow people to have them.
Let's go to the phones. Slongvir is calling from Reykjavik. What's your question, Slongvir?
My wife and I would really like to get out of our marriage, but we just can't seem to find the right loophole.
Well, of course, living in Iceland, you're governed by the divorce laws of the Gragas. And the Gragas only allows divorce under very few circumstances.
I know. I was trying to qualify under the large wounds rule.
Do you have a large wound?
Yeah, I got a pretty big one on the side of my head.
How big?
About the size of a rock.
Well, the fact that you are able to talk to me tells me that the rock probably did not penetrate your brain, which is bad news, I'm afraid.
Oh.
A large wound must penetrate to the brain, your body cavity, or the bone marrow.
Right.
Since you're not there yet, maybe you can still try to work it out.
I don't know, it's stuck on there pretty good. Thanks for your help.
Divorce certainly can be a painful experience.
Flayed alive.
Interesting. Thanks, Pierre. We go now live to Juliana the Friendly, reporting from the royal foot-kissing ceremony. Juliana, did the ceremony run smoothly?
Not exactly, Marie. At the last minute, Rollo brought in one of his men as a pinch kisser, a Viking by the name of Guthrum. But while in mid-smooch, Guthrum lifted the king's foot, throwing his simpleness head over heels into the ground. Afterward, I spoke with King Charles. King Charles, are you okay?
I'm fine. It's just, I mean, What was that? That was no foot kiss.
But you're sure you're not hurt?
I'm fine. You know, this ceremony's supposed to be a show of respect. Then he flips me like a diseased ox being loaded onto a catapult when you run out of rocks. And my own people, are they concerned? No, they just laugh like it's a big joke. What?
It's awful.
Frida, is adultery grounds for divorce?
Of course. If you sleep with another man, your husband has every right to divorce you.
Good, because I caught him being adulterous with my best friend.
Is she married?
No.
Well, then, he isn't actually being adulterous. A man commits adultery only if he sleeps with another man's wife.
So I get ripped off just because my friend isn't married?
No, of course not. You get ripped off because you're a woman.
No, I got a good mind to give those Vikings something that would show them. Maybe some more of our land.
Guthrum, what happened there?
Yeah, I figured quick peck, you know, no tongue. I didn't want to show up my new king.
Yet you did lift him up and throw him onto his back.
Yeah, that was purely an accident, you know. I was in mid-pucker, you know. And I figured my friends can't see me, you know. Here for my big moment, I'm kneeling down, so I stands up, you know. As it happened, the king's foot was still in my hand, and I just hope this accident doesn't preclude any honoring in the future. You know what I mean?
Surprisingly, Rollo and his Viking Northmen became model citizens. They defended their lands against other Vikings and even helped to put down a local rebellion against King Charles. The Northmen became Normans, intermarried with the Franks, and eventually adopted their religion, language, and customs. Their brutal axe-wielding days were gone forever, until they decided to head over to Hastings to conquer all of England. Yeah, these one-time warriors had turned a page in their history, but sooner or later, history always bites.
And you know what? We deserve these guys, this string of Charlie the insert unflattering adjective here. Yeah, we're so unimaginative we can't even come up with a new first name. We just go on with endless reruns of Charles in Charge, and we end up ground chuck. Meanwhile, these Northmen have nicknames like Forkbeard, Blood Axe, and Carcinogenic, and we counter with fat, bald, and stupid. Sorry, Charlie, but your tuna doesn't taste too good. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.